Hey, welcome back to the Dating Advice Guru. This is Carlos Cavallo. Today I've got a really interesting topic. I say interesting kind of sarcastically because it's on the topic of why men cheat. Why do men cheat? And this is all in the aftermath of the Ashley Madison hack. Now, the most controversial news of the last several months has been this Ashley Madison breach. The hackers made off with personal information on millions of customers in the site and in their database. Now, the Ashley Madison site is in business to provide a place for those seeking extramarital and, I suppose, pretty much any kind of affair. And the criticism against Ashley Madison is that it's really not able to provide what it pretends to be able to, which is willing female cheaters. There's a lot of gloating going on about after this hack, and a lot of people saying things like, well, those guys shouldn't have been so stupid. They deserve it. You know, some have even claimed that it's all male stupidity, since men are clearly ignorant brutes in search of a quick get-laid opportunity. Are men simply getting what they deserve? Well, let's get this out there right off the bat. Men are not the only cheaters in the world, all right? Especially in the dating and relationship game. However, due to a man's higher sex drive, guess what? He's more likely to seek outside of his relationship if his needs aren't getting met. This unfortunately leads to a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of unfortunate behavior. Again, there's been criticisms of men that say that we're conditioned to make, get this, surreal efforts to obtain sex. Surreal efforts. I'm kind of curious as to what a surreal effort would be, but it's a pretty harsh indictment if you ask me. Now, just because women aren't using Ashley Madison doesn't mean that this is an exclusively male situation. There are men and women everywhere that are unhappy with their relationships, and there are so many other reasons why people decide to cheat on their partner. You know, they're lonely, they're trapped, they're in a loveless or abusive relationship, an unhappy relationship. And maybe that's the real root of the problem here. How do you keep your relationship happy enough so that your partner isn't looking for something or someone else? So let's explore the reasons why men cheat and how a woman can cheat-proof her relationship. And you got to remember, what I'm talking about here may sound like justification, but it's not. It's always easy to lash out and assign blame. What takes a whole lot more effort on our part is to understand the reasoning and patiently think about what we might do in their shoes. Now, I could go through all the cliche advice in the Dating Guru playbook of how to safeguard your relationship, but if you really want to know how to keep a guy from cheating, the best thing you can do is to look at the relationship where the man is being completely faithful, where he has no desire to cheat. What is she doing to keep him happy? That's what we should be looking at here. What is she doing that makes that situation so much different? And if you look closely, you'll notice that it's more about what she's not doing. So let's go through a few of those things. First of all, why do men cheat? Reason number one, he's not sexually satisfied. This reason is likely to make many women grit their teeth a little bit. After all, sometimes it seems like it always comes down to a man's sex drive. One woman at a talk I was giving said to me, so why do we always have to please him on his schedule? Why can't he just wait? Or why can't he just take care of himself? Well, coming from a man's point of view, let me explain exactly why those are not realistic goals for many men. You see, yeah, he could wait for a better time, but a man is not he's not biologically programmed for this kind of convenient schedule when it comes to his libido. He can't schedule his sex drive, and he'll often feel the desire and just want to consummate it. Now, if he has to wait, that's fine, but if he's asked to take care of himself, well, that means he's going to lose some of the intimacy that he's craving with you. That's why he wants to do it with you, okay? And he doesn't seeking it for solo activity. For a man, his sexual intimacy, his emotional intimacy, those are all tied together. So if he has to wait for the right time, a few too many times, he's going to start to feel disconnected from you. Keep in mind that emotional intimacy for a man is a very risky proposition. Women can be emotionally open and intimate with many different people in their life. Men will not take that chance with many people in his own life. Now, why do men cheat? Reason number two, he's not feeling like a man. Some guys get into relationships with a very unhealthy power balance in it. He doesn't man up when he should, and as a result, a woman sees that his passivity as being weakness. Very often what happens is she'll take control of the relationship since it doesn't look like he's going to do anything. He's not going to step up and take the wheel. But this further disables him since he figures, why bother? Not that this is an excuse for resignation, but men are more likely to want to go with the flow than rock the boat, for the first obvious reason that he doesn't want to endanger his chances of getting sex. Now, while that might seem kind of cowardly on the surface, it is where a man's head is at. When a man feels emasculated, either because of his partner's slights and comments or because he's afraid of his own ability to be intimate, he's going to seek some way to feel like a man again. And who could blame him? One of the most self-validating acts is to cheat with a woman that makes him feel virile, or even when he can prove himself that he can have sex with another woman who finds him desirable. And it's unfortunate that the media only produces images and programming to support this belief that men can only be men by conquering many women, and it's actually not that simple. So be sure to validate his masculinity at every chance you get. If he does something for you, acknowledge it and appreciate it instead of looking at it as an attempt to demean you as a woman. I'll give you a little hint here, men never do that. Which leads me to, why do men cheat? Reason number 3, he's not safe in the relationship. He doesn't feel safe in the relationship. And this reason is one of the unknown secrets of happy relationships as well as unhappy ones. A man needs to feel like he can open up to you without recourse or backlash. If he feels like he can't speak his mind without eye-rolling, sarcastic comments, or reprisal, yes, those are all common things that many women do to guys. If he feels like any of those things are going to happen, he's going to shut down and go quiet. So he has to feel like the woman in his life really gets him, or he's going to pull away and grow more distant. So if you find yourself asking him what he's feeling and he says nothing, well, you might want to work to create a place of comfort for him. The next time you talk with him about something, just totally shut off your usual automatic responses, including those facial expressions and body language that might give you away. Keep your body open and your emotions as well to what he's saying, even if it might be a little bit threatening to you. Really let him feel safe to express himself. He can't feel safe and open if he thinks you're going to judge him or lash out at him for saying something you don't agree with or that makes you uncomfortable. Which leads me to the next reason for why men cheat. Why does he cheat? Number 4, he doesn't feel accepted. And this one works hand in hand with his feeling safe. If a man doesn't feel like you accept him as he is, he's going to grow cold, become more distant, and pull away from you. You see, men today don't feel very accepted by society at large. All you hear today is the battle cry of political correctness and making everybody feel comfortable, but not about anything really dealing with men. And as a result, men are largely withdrawing from view. Rather than get caught up in a battle we just don't want to engage in. So one of the best ways a woman can make a man feel accepted is to simply tell him how you feel about who he is. Tell him you respect him for something and then explain what that thing is. You see, in this day and age, it's almost never that you hear a woman celebrating her partner, her man in her life. It's become more acceptable to hear complaints about masculine behavior, to insult men in general. So take a second and think about that yourself. When was the last time you heard a woman really express her admiration and acceptance of her man? And next comes probably the most controversial reason that men cheat on women. Why do men cheat? Reason number 5, he's a cheater. The reality is that there are 2 basic reasons that a man cheats. If you want to distill these down to the core elements, one is that it's in his nature as a character flaw. He's got intimacy problems, he's unable to commit, he's got mommy issues, whatever you want to call it or label it. However, most women don't understand is that this is a very, very small percentage of men. Really, it's small. And most guys are not as shallow and completely stunted in their development as the media and other self-help books want to make you think. We're actually capable of intelligent thought and introspection and not just dragging our knuckles on the ground. The other basic reason the man cheats is everything else, meaning it's because he's unhappy and unfulfilled in his relationship. So guess what? These are the same 2 reasons that a woman cheats. Now, the reason that a man cheats is usually related to the same reasons that women cheat, not getting our needs met. However, men's needs vary slightly and in their priority. The reality is that unless there's a serious character flaw, we don't cheat on the relationship that's giving us what we want. It seems like that should be kind of a common sense thing, like, duh, but we don't usually look at it that way. Because cheating feels like such a personal betrayal, the emotions are too highly charged for us to stop and say, hey, wait a minute, could I have something to do with this? Could I have some part in the reason why he did that? We immediately refuse that it's even possible. Instead, we view the infidelity as a personal attack against us instead of the cry for help that it sometimes is. So keep that in your mind at all times, that men cheat on women most often because we're needing something we're not getting. All right. Sometimes that's sex. Sometimes that's it's intimacy. But that's a very simplistic view that it's all about the sex. But on the other hand, sex for a man is much more than it appears on the surface. It's a way for us to connect and really become intimate. Now, here's something really amazing. We go to school for 12 years, I guess, if you go to high school, maybe another 4 if you go to college. Go to school for possibly up to 16, even many more years after that if you go for more degrees. And yet, all that time we spend in school, we almost never learn anything or are never schooled in how to have a successful relationship. This, to me, is a tragedy, and it's one thing that's easily remedied in just a few hours. If you want to get the information on how to make a relationship that's successful, that really lasts with a man, I have a program that will do that for you. Go on over to datingadviceguru.com/connection code. That's datingadviceguru.com/connection code. Spend the time to learn about the one thing that's going to have more impact than anything else in your life. You're going to switch your careers 6 or 7 times over your lifetime, but you don't want to do that with your love partner. So learn how to have a successful relationship and learn how to connect with him and make him yours for as long as you want. Going over to datingadviceguru.com/connection code. I'll be talking again soon. This is Carlos Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com.